Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about something that's absolutely crucial to your success, your happiness, and your personal growth. Our topic today is learn to be stronger than your excuses. Now, I want you to think about that for a moment. Learn to be stronger than your excuses. What does that mean to you? What comes to mind when you hear those words? You see, excuses are like weeds in the garden of our lives. They sprout up quickly, they're persistent, and if we're not careful, they can choke out the beautiful flowers of our dreams and aspirations. But here's the good news. Just like weeds, excuses can be uprooted. They can be overcome. And that's what we're going to learn how to do today. Let's start with a fundamental truth. We all make excuses, every single one of us. It's part of human nature. We're wired to seek comfort, to avoid pain, to stay in our familiar zones. And excuses, well, they're our mind's way of keeping us right where we are. I'm too tired. I don't have enough time. I'm not smart enough. It's too hard. I'll do it tomorrow. Sound familiar? These are the weeds in our garden, folks. These are the excuses that keep us stuck, that keep us from reaching our full potential. But here's the thing. Excuses are not facts. They're not immovable obstacles. They're simply thoughts, beliefs that we've allowed to take root in our minds. And just like any other thought or belief, they can be changed. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. Breaking free from our excuses requires effort. It requires commitment. It requires a willingness to step out of our comfort zones. But I promise you, it's worth it. Because on the other side of your excuses lies everything you've ever dreamed of. Think about it this way. Every great achievement in history, every breakthrough, every innovation came from someone who refused to listen to excuses. Do you think Thomas Edison made excuses when his first 1,000 attempts at the light bulb failed? Do you think Martin Luther King Jr. made excuses when faced with seemingly insurmountable odds? Of course not. They learned to be stronger than their excuses. And that's what I want for each and every one of you. I want you to learn to be stronger than your excuses. I want you to develop the mental toughness, the resilience, the determination to push past those limiting beliefs and step into your full potential. So how do we do this? How do we learn to be stronger than our excuses? Well, it starts with awareness. We need to become aware of the excuses we're making. We need to catch ourselves in the act, so to speak. The next time you find yourself avoiding a task, procrastinating on a goal, or talking yourself out of an opportunity, I want you to pause. Take a moment to listen to the conversation happening in your head. What excuses are you making? What reasons are you giving yourself for not taking action? Write them down if you need to. Get them out in the open where you can see them clearly. Because here's the truth, most of our excuses don't hold up under scrutiny. When we bring them out into the light, when we really examine them, we often find that they're based on fear, on self-doubt, on limiting beliefs that we've picked up along the way. And once we're aware of our excuses, once we can see them clearly, that's when we can start to challenge them. That's when we can start to be stronger than them. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have a goal to start a business, but every time you think about taking action, you hear that little voice in your head saying, I don't have enough money to start a business. That's the excuse, right? Now, instead of accepting that excuse at face value, I want you to challenge it. Ask yourself, is it really true that I don't have enough money, or is it possible that I'm just afraid of taking the risk? Is it possible that I'm underestimating my ability to find creative solutions? Maybe you could start small with minimal investment. Maybe you could find a partner or seek investors. Maybe you could start a side hustle to generate the capital you need. The point is, when you challenge your excuses, when you refuse to accept them as absolute truth, you open up a world of possibilities. And that's what being stronger than your excuses is all about. It's about refusing to let those limiting beliefs define your reality. It's about choosing to focus on solutions rather than problems, on opportunities rather than obstacles. Now, I want to be clear about Son. Being stronger than your excuses doesn't mean ignoring reality. It doesn't mean pretending that challenges don't exist. What it means is refusing to let those challenges become permanent roadblocks. You see, there's a big difference between a reason and an excuse. A reason is a fact, a circumstance that exists in the real world. An excuse is how we choose to interpret that fact, how we choose to respond to it. Let's say you want to exercise more, but you have a demanding job that takes up a lot of your time. The demanding job is a reason, it's a fact of your life. But I don't have time to exercise is an excuse. It's a choice you're making about how to interpret that fact. Being stronger than your excuses means looking at that demanding job and saying, okay, this is my reality. How can I work around it? Can I wake up earlier to exercise? Can I use my lunch break? Can I do short, intense workouts instead of long ones? It's about shifting from a mindset of I can't to a mindset of how can I? It's about being resourceful, creative, and determined in the face of challenges. And let's tell you something, when you start approaching life this way, when you start being stronger than your excuses, it's like flipping a switch. Suddenly, obstacles become opportunities. Problems become challenges to overcome. And you start to see just how capable you really are. Now, I want to address something that I think holds a lot of people back when it comes to overcoming their excuses. And that's the fear of failure. You see, many of our excuses are really just masks for this underlying fear. We're afraid of trying and failing. So we make excuses to avoid even starting. But here's the truth. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of success. Every successful person you admire, every great achiever in history has failed, probably many times. The difference is they didn't let those failures become excuses for giving up. Instead, they saw each failure as a lesson, as valuable feedback, as a stepping stone on the path to success. They understood that the only real failure is the failure to try, the failure to keep going in the face of setback. So I want you to start reframing how you think about failure. Instead of seeing it as something to be avoided at all costs, see it as a necessary part of the journey. See it as proof that you're pushing yourself, that you're growing, that you're daring to do something meaningful. And the next time you find yourself making an excuse to avoid the possibility of failure, I want you to pause, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen if I try and fail? And what's the best that could happen if I succeed? More often than not, you'll find that the potential rewards far outweigh the risks. You'll find that the growth you'll experience, the lessons you'll learn, are valuable even if you don't achieve your goal on the first try. Remember, every excuse you make is a choice. It's a choice to stay where you are, to remain in your comfort zone, to avoid the discomfort of growth and change. But it's also a choice to give up on your dreams, to settle for less than you're capable of, to live a life of what-ifs and regrets. On the other hand, choosing to be stronger than your excuses is also a choice. It's a choice to believe in yourself, to push your limits, to dare greatly. It's a choice to live a life of purpose, of growth, of achievement. So which choice will you make? Will you let your excuses define you? Or will you choose to be stronger than them? Now let's talk about another important aspect of being stronger than your excuses, and that's taking responsibility for your life. You see, making excuses is often a way of avoiding responsibility. It's a way of saying, it's not my fault. I can't help it. The circumstances are to blame. But here's the thing. As long as you're blaming circumstances, as long as you're pointing fingers at external factors, you're giving away your power. You're putting yourself in the position of a victim, someone who things happen to, rather than someone who makes things happen. Being stronger than your excuses means taking back that power. It means saying, yes, the circumstances might be challenging, but I am responsible for how I respond to those circumstances. I am responsible for my choices, my actions, You see, responsibility is not about blame. It's about empowerment. When you take responsibility, you're acknowledging that you have the power to shape your life, regardless of the circumstances. You're saying, I may not be able to control everything that happens to me, but I can control how I react, how I think, and what I do. And let me tell you, folks, that's an incredibly liberating realization. Because once you understand that you're responsible for your life, you stop waiting for things to change. You stop hoping that someone else will come along and fix your problems. You start taking action. You start making things happen. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but Jim, you don't understand. My situation is different. I have real obstacles in my way. And I get it, I really do. We all face challenges. We all have obstacles to overcome. But here's what I want you to understand. The size of your success will be determined by the size of your belief. If you believe that your obstacles are insurmountable, if you believe that your excuses are valid reasons for not pursuing your dreams, then that belief will become your reality. But if you believe that you're capable of overcoming those obstacles, if you believe that you're stronger than your excuses, then that belief will become your reality. You see, your beliefs shape your actions, and your actions shape your results. So if you want different results in your life, if you want to achieve more, be more, do more, then you need to start by changing your beliefs. You need to start by believing that you're stronger than your excuses. And how do you do that? Well, it starts with your self-talk. Pay attention to the conversations you're having with yourself. Are you constantly reinforcing your excuses? Are you telling yourself that you can't, that it's too hard, that you're not good enough? Or are you challenging those thoughts? Are you replacing them with empowering beliefs? Instead of saying, I can't, try saying, how can I? Instead of saying it's too hard, try saying it's challenging, but I'm up for it. Instead of saying I'm not good enough, try saying I'm learning and improving every day. These might seem like small changes, but I promise you, they can make a world of difference. Because when you change your self-talk, you change your mindset. And when you change your mindset, you change your life. Now let's talk about another crucial aspect of being stronger than your excuses, and that's taking action. You see, it's not enough to just think differently. It's not enough to just believe you're capable of more. You have to back up those thoughts and beliefs with action. And here's the thing about action. It's the antidote to excuses. When you're in motion, when you're taking steps towards your goals, no matter how small those steps might be, it becomes much harder to make excuses. Action builds momentum, and momentum is a powerful force. Think about it this way. Have you ever noticed how much easier it is to keep going? Once you've started, that's momentum at work. That's why taking that first step, overcoming that initial inertia, is often the hardest part. But once you're in motion, it becomes easier to stay in motion. So here's what I want you to do. Start small. Don't wait until you have it all figured out. Don't wait until conditions are perfect. Because let me tell you a secret, conditions will never be perfect. There will always be reasons to wait, to delay, to make excuses. Instead, I want you to take one small action today, just one. It could be as simple as making a phone call you've been putting off or spending 15 minutes researching a topic related to your goals or writing down a plan for the next week. The specific action doesn't matter as much as the fact that you're taking action. Because here's the truth. Small actions taken consistently over time lead to big results. It's not about making huge leaps all at once. It's about making steady progress day after day, week after week, month after month. And as you take action, as you start to see progress, no matter how small, something amazing happens. Your belief in yourself grows. Your excuses start to lose their power. You start to realize that you're capable of more than you thought. Now, I want to address something that I think trips a lot of people up when it comes to taking action and overcoming excuses. And that's perfectionism. You see, perfectionism is often just another form of excuse making. It's a way of saying, I can't start until everything is just right. I can't move forward until I'm sure I won't make any mistakes. But here's the truth. Perfection is a myth. It's an illusion that keeps us stuck, that keeps us from taking action, because the reality is nothing will ever be perfect. There will always be room for improvement, always be potential for mistakes. The most successful people in the world understand this. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They don't wait until they're absolutely certain of success. They take imperfect action. They start before they feel ready. They understand that done is better than perfect. So, I want you to give yourself permission to be imperfect. Give yourself permission to make mistakes, to learn as you go, to improve over time. Because that's how real progress is made. That's how real growth happens. Remember, every expert was once a beginner. Every successful person started somewhere. They didn't become successful by waiting for perfect conditions or by avoiding mistakes. They became successful by taking action, by learning from their failures, by being stronger than their excuses. Now let's talk about another important aspect of being stronger than your excuses, and that's surrounding yourself with the right people. You see, the people you spend time with have a huge influence on your thoughts, your beliefs, and your actions. If you're surrounded by people who are constantly making excuses, who are always focusing on why things can't be done, it's going to be much harder for you to overcome your own excuses. Their negative energy, their limiting beliefs will start to rub off on you. On the other hand, if you surround yourself with people who are action takers, who are constantly pushing themselves to grow and improve, who refuse to make excuses, their energy will inspire you. Their example will challenge you to be better. So take a look at the people in your life. Are they lifting you up or holding you back? Are they encouraging you to be stronger than your excuses? Or are they reinforcing those excuses? Now, I'm not saying you need to cut people out of your life, but you do need to be intentional about who you spend the most time with, who you turn to for advice, who you look to for inspiration. Seek out mentors, either in person or through books and other resources. Join groups or communities of like-minded individuals who are committed to personal growth and achievement. Surround yourself with people who believe in you, who challenge you, who inspire you to be your best self. Because here's the truth. You become like the people you spend the most time with. So choose wisely. Choose people who are stronger than their excuses, and you'll find it easier to be stronger than yours. Now, I want to talk about something that I think is crucial when it comes to overcoming excuses, and that's developing a growth mindset. You see, people with a fixed mindset believe that their abilities are set in stone. They believe that they're either good at something or they're not, and there's not much they can do to change that. But people with a growth mindset, they understand that abilities can be developed through effort, good strategies, and input from others. They believe that they can improve, that they can learn, that they can grow. And here's the thing. When you have a growth mindset, excuses start to lose their power. Because instead of seeing challenges as reasons to give up, you see them as opportunities to learn and improve. Instead of saying, I can't do this, you start saying, I can't do this yet. That little word, yet it's powerful. It acknowledges where you are now, but it also leaves the door open for growth and improvement. It turns an excuse into a challenge, a roadblock into a stepping stone. So how do you develop a growth mindset? Well, it starts with being aware of your thoughts. When you face a challenge or a setback, pay attention to how you respond. Are you quick to make excuses? Do you tell yourself that you're just not cut out? Or do you see it as an opportunity to learn and grow? Then start challenging those fixed mindset thoughts when they come up. Replace I'm not good at this with I'm not good at this yet, but I can improve with practice. Replace this is too hard with this is challenging, but challenges help me grow. And most importantly, take action. Put yourself in situations where you need to stretch and grow. Embrace challenges instead of avoiding them. Because the more you do this, the more you'll reinforce that growth mindset. You'll start to see tangible evidence of your ability to improve, to overcome obstacles, to be stronger than your excuses. Remember, being stronger than your excuses isn't a one-time event. It's not something you achieve and then you're done. It's a lifelong practice, a daily commitment to push yourself, to challenge your limiting beliefs, to take action in spite of fear or doubt. It's about consistently choosing growth over comfort, possibility over limitation, action over excuses. And as you make this choice day after day, you'll find that your excuses lose their power. You'll find that you're capable of far more than you ever imagined. So I challenge you to be stronger than your excuses. Choose to believe in your potential for growth and improvement. Choose to take action even when it's difficult or uncomfortable, because on the other side of your excuses lies everything you've ever dreamed of. Your future self is watching you right now, hoping you'll make the right choice. So be brave, be strong, be relentless in the pursuit of your goals, and always, always remember, you are stronger than your excuses. Thank you